Decide, says Steve Sisolak.
Politicians have no business making decisions about women's health. But Joe Lombardo doesn't understand that. He wants to restrict birth control and supports a ban on abortion. As long as I'm your governor, I'll protect your right to make your own healthcare decisions.
So we're getting acquainted with some of these candidates, right? So who in the hell is Steve Sisolak? Let's subscribe to Steve Sisolak. That is the governor of Nevada. Nevada, don't you dare say Nevada. It's Nevada, okay? Or is it Nevada and not Nevada? It's one or the other, and you better say it right. Brandon Davis, Ed Bridges, Bradley Beck, Austin Billings, Monique Richardson. These are 5 other candidates that are in the race. Steve Sisolak is the Democrat. He's the Democrat incumbent, and he was through the COVID thing, and apparently he shut down businesses for 30 days and some other shit. So he might just get kicked out just because he was, basically being more responsible than the goddamn, that Confederate Führer. What was his name? What was that? So you have Ed Bridges, Bradley Beck, Austin Billings, Monique Richardson, and Brandon Davis. So you got 5 candidates, right? 5 candidates. Brandon Davis, advertising agency owner. Ed Bridges, nominee for Nevada's 3rd Congressional District. Bradley Beck, geologist. Austin Billings, logistics professional. And Monique Richardson. These are declared independents. Also independent American primary. Bridges and Davis is a libertarian primary. So you have 5 independents. You got a Republican, and you have a Democrat, and you have 5 independents. So on top of Steve Sisolak, I'm going to go ahead and give that a like, so maybe I'll get some more of this Sisolak. Let's take a look at some of these other Sisolak videos. You have, let's see, this one and that one. Oh, that's just 31 seconds. All right, so that's not too bad, huh?
Sube mes a mes.
El costo de tener un techo es lo que rompe el bolsillo y el ánimo.
Votamos por Sisolak porque él también viene de gente trabajadora.
Con Sisolak ya está construyendo miles de casas y departamentos a nuestro alcance.
La mayor inversión para crear viviendas.
So I don't know Spanish, so I have no idea what the hell is going on there, but that's interesting. It's Nevada, so they have Spanish speakers in Nevada.
Governor Steve Sisolak signed an emergency regulation to address the statewide teacher shortage, and that new rule will reduce the cost of all substitute teaching licenses, capping them off at $100. New licenses typically cost $180 and renewals $150. It will also allow the state to extend the expiration dates for certain provisional licenses for up to 6 months. One teacher who already has one of those licenses tells us she believes extending the expiration date will help keep many teachers in the classroom.
So, good deal, huh? Good deal for Steve Sisolak. Those are the last 2 videos that he put out there. That's, let's see, go to Steve Sisolak, decide. No, let's go to the biggest. Let's go to the most popular. Sort by most popular. The most popular video is 2 economies, 351,000 views. 1 month ago, 351,000 views, 2 economies. Let's take a look.
It's a tale of 2 economies. Look down the strip, or Virginia Street. Hotels are full, unemployment's low, and our economy is rated best in America. But there's another story too. Housing prices, gas, groceries, all taking a toll. I get it. That's why we're expanding childcare, investing $500 million in housing, tuition-free community college, and no new taxes. Because Nevada should be a place you can afford to call home.
All right, there we go. 351,000 views. Okay, so super duper popular, right? Sisolak v. Lombardo. So this guy, I don't know if this began as a tweet, but apparently Las Vegas had a high crime rate, and then Sisolak had tweeted, hey, why don't you do your job to the sheriff? And then Lombardo was so pissed off, he was like a thin blue line pissed off. Like, how dare you even think about criticizing the goddamn police? Even if we do have a high crime rate, even if we're not doing our jobs, you're still not allowed to point it out. So you have Sheriff Joe Lombardo confirm he's running for Nevada governor 4 weeks ago. 2 months ago. Let's do this video here.
This summer, Sisolak signed an executive order ensuring that information on patients who travel to Nevada for an abortion can't be provided to states seeking to prosecute them.
I think that choice of what a woman wants to do is between herself and her doctor.
We asked Lombardo if he would do away with that executive order if elected.
I don't know if it's codified in law, and there needs to be a repeal on that, but if it's a position, the way it's written in the law, yeah, absolutely.
What? Okay, so that was Lombardo. That apparently Steve Sisolak's campaign is asking Lombardo questions. Let's see. He's confirmed he's running for Nevada governor. Let's just click on this and see what... Oh, that's all they're saying. That's just it, that he confirmed the thing. Are they saying anything? Let's do Joe Lombardo's speech. Like, god damn, you know? Fuck, what's it take to hear some Joe Lombardo? Joe Lombardo is thin blue line. He's all against defunding the police. He don't seem too smart, but he seems like he's got a nice, strong, stern sort of jawline, and the hair got a nice little, you know, he's got a decent, let's see, on the record, the Nevada Independent. Let's see here. Okay. Nevada Independent on the record. Let's just, gonna shut you down. Oh shit. All right, let's just listen to him. Let's give him your attention, your undivided attention.
And citations and court appearances that affect their licenses in that space. So that made my decision.
So in your view, and I don't think any of us here probably remember every single type of business that was on the essential or the non-essential list, and I don't expect you to remember, but can you give a couple examples of the types of businesses that in your mind were essential and probably should have been kept open as opposed to the more of a blanket approach?
You know, we didn't know what we didn't know in the early throes of the COVID, and, you know, is it questionable for him shutting down the casinos and the entirety of the economy, you know, outside of your staples like your groceries or your needed necessities or your health care to go
They shut the casinos down in Las Vegas?
society. But soon after,
What about the prostitution? Is that essential?
So I don't blame him. I don't think it was a bad decision to shut down the casinos. Those are people coming into the state. All right, we don't know where they're coming from. We don't know what situation they put themselves in on a daily basis, and we don't know what the infection rate was going to occur. So the science was a little vague in that aspect. So I don't blame that. But soon we knew. You know, there was a decision point associated with the COVID response on overwhelming of the medical services, and whether we could accommodate illness associated with the COVID. And we soon knew, based on science and data, that was not the case. And I had intimate knowledge of that because day one, the police department was at work. We were considered essential. We had to go out and respond to this calls for service as a matter of public safety. And my employees were affected by the COVID. You know, in the maximum point of that infection rate was I would have 400 plus people off of work at one time. It's very hard to run a business with that kind of number, right? And the unknowns associated and the quarantine associated with it and everything else that goes along with it. But we knew sooner than later. My opinion, he took way too long to make the decision to lighten up on the economy, open up the economy, the slow death associated with shutting down the economy. And it's going to take years. It's not like turning on and off the light. You know, okay, we're open. The economy's recovering, people's anxiety is going to disappear, and you're going to recover via your revenue streams to be successful into the future. We know that's not the case.
So you would have opened up Nevada for business sooner. And what about the mask mandate? Was it, as far as the timing goes of when the mandate went into effect and when it was limited, anything you would have done differently there?
Absolutely. And I'm on the record publicly talking about the mask mandate.
Authorizing local governments to enact rent control policies, would you sign that and support it?
No, I'm saying no now because I'm not well informed enough on that. I think we need to bring some industry experts associated with that and look at different states that have it. Example being New York or California in that space. Has there been a benefit associated with rent control? And just in the short time that's been brought up. People are talking about as a possible solution for affordable housing, I've heard both sides of the equation on that. You know, some people support it, some don't, and here's the detriment associated with that type of process or thinking versus the other side, the benefit. And I don't know enough about it to say that if a bill hits my desk, I'm going to sign it.
But you wouldn't be opposed to signing it.
No, I wouldn't be opposed to anything as long as it's based on sound fundamental process. I don't support defunding the police when we're talking about putting cops on the street. Do not support it. Cops make a difference. They're influential in everything associated with the economy and the quality of life in any society. What I was referring to, and I thought I explained myself well in this space, but obviously I didn't. I'm glad you brought up the question so we can talk about it a little bit more. A significant amount of our work in law enforcement is dedicated to people that are in distress. Homelessness, social issue, hunger, mental health, drug abuse, and those are volatile populations. And over the years, cops have asked to expand their resumes to deal with everything under the sun. And quite often, the answer to every social ill is dial 911, right? So if you don't have an answer, dial 911, have the cops show up and expect them to solve the problem. We are duly bound not to walk away. Okay, so it's important for people to realize that. But we are putting the cops, my cops, the state's cops, in position of liability and unsuccess. And that's what my platform and that's what my campaign is based on. The majority of it is based on that. And me being a subject matter expert in that space, I feel I have the leadership and experience that people in Nevada can trust in there. And that's my intent to move us forward.
I've got a tough question for you, I think.
I'm not afraid of you.
Good. So you're supporting Kevin McMahill in his bid for sheriff.
This is not going to be a tough question.
Oh, great. So I don't know how much the viewers are aware of it, but I know that you must be aware of it. So recently it came to light. There were allegations about 3 decades ago of misconduct by McMahill and another officer, and a recommendation at that time by a superior officer that they both be removed from the force, but only one of them left, and McMahill remained. What do you remember about what happened with all that back then? And then explain why you're supporting him, why you think he's the best man to fill your shoes.
So let me start it with this way. One is I'm fully endorsing Kevin McMahill, and I haven't swayed from that, and I will continue to endorse him. 2 is I don't remember anything, okay? And I don't mean to be in the context of what Starbucks answered. I don't remember anything because I wasn't associated with that 25 years ago. I worked in a complete different part of the department.
What were you doing back then? Do you mind just saying?
I don't know. I was probably an undercover narcotics detective.
Okay.
If it was 25 years ago. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Okay.
And so I've learned about this, the majority of it here recently, being schooled and educated on it now. But, you hear rumors in the police department or any organization for your entire career. So maybe some ancillary information associated with that reached me at some point, and maybe there were some ancillary discussions about it, but he was not in my chain. So you can't reward mediocrity. And in that situation that you described, you're rewarding mediocrity. Okay, well, they're not there. Let's just keep them going. And we have to have some